Why do people buy things they don't need? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Why do you buy that thing that you don't need when you can get an alternative thing that does the exact same thing, but instead you get the more expensive thing? Like, why is it that you actually buy this stuff, right? Now, if you're a salesperson and you click on this video, you can use what I'm telling you and why people actually buy things in relations and all these studies I'm going to tell you, I'm going to put out there to actually sell things more effectively. If you're a consumer, you can actually start looking at the perspective as a consumer of why you're buying that thing that's so expensive and what you can actually do to avoid that. And when you're actually being sold something just for the sake of being sold something more expensive, and when you're actually being sold something for the actual sake of having to buy something that solved that problem that you needed to solve, right? Now, the first thing I want to talk about to why people actually buy what they buy is that people buy based on emotions first, and then they use logic to justify the expense, right? So for example, say I walk into Gucci, right? Gucci is like a store, brand made, like a belt is like $500, right? I can literally get any belt for $12, and the entire thing of having a belt is literally just to hold up your pants, right? But I walk into Gucci and I look at this belt and I want to get it. Why? Because the emotion that I derive from that belt is that, hey, I'm not just buying a belt, I'm buying a brand. I'm not just buying a brand, I'm buying social status. You know what I mean? So when I buy this, I see all the Gucci commercials. It's all like skinny models that look perfect and everything like that. So I feel as if when I get this, I'm going to feel that emotion attached to it. And the way I justify it is by saying like, hey, this is a really good quality belt. It's made in Paris. The leather is premium. Is the creme de la creme, right? And I can justify it using that, you know? So you actually bought it based on your emotions because of how it actually makes you feel. And you justify using the logic of, hey, it's only $500. I can pay it off with my credit card easy. No big deal. And I can have this quality product for the rest of my life. Then 2 weeks later, you're back in the Gucci store buying another one and justifying why you need it, right? Doesn't make sense, but this is the reason that you're actually doing it. So whenever you walk in a store, ask yourself, hey, am I buying this because I need it, or am I buying it because I just want to get it based on my emotions, or am I buying it because I really need it? You know what I mean? I have leather belts that are made in Paris and I pay like 20, like $30 for it. Really good belts, you know, and they do the job very good because I like quality things also. But there's some things that you're buying something that's attached to a brand, and there's something that you're actually buying something that solves a problem that's good quality. You know the difference. Now, the second thing that I've learned that why people actually buy things that they don't need is all about social pressures. Now, you might not know this, right? You might say, Tommy, I'm an adult. What is peer pressure? It doesn't happen anymore, right? But if you literally are part of a social group where everyone is wearing Gucci, where everyone is wearing designer stuff, you're going to feel that pressure to fit in. You're going to feel that pressure to say, damn, like I remember being in college, I remember being in high school, I remember even being in middle school and seeing people rock Nike Air Force, right? And if you had Airs, like yeah, they used to make like Airs, just Airs, not Nike Air. They just had Airs. If you had Airs, like you sucked. And me walking into middle school with that like Airs like shoes, it made me feel like I was kind of like less cool, you know what I mean? And I begged my mom to get me the Nike Air one because when I walked in, everyone was like, wow, those are really cool kicks. Wow, those are really cool kicks, you know? And I got like this social acceptance from my friends and my peers of saying like, wow, that's cool. You're in now, right? But it really doesn't make any sense. It's all about social pressures. And I think this derives from the effect of people looking for approval from people that don't actually deserve their approval. And you do things that are beyond your reach just so you can be like, hey, I have this and I have that, and people can actually accept you. For example, have you ever heard the term like competing with the Joneses? Like, for example, you might want to buy a house in a neighborhood that's like way beyond your budget, right? You make like $60,000 a year. The mortgage is like $3,000, $4,000, right? And you buy this house. Now you can't even pay the taxes on the house. Now you need a fancy car because your neighbors have a fancy car, and you don't want to seem like the only person with a Honda on your block, right? These are all social pressures around you. So the moment you decide that, hey, I don't do things for your approval, I do them because I need it, then you're actually going to justify it and you're going to say like, hey, I can get a Honda and I can start working on my financial freedom, because what really matters the most to me is not being in debt and looking like I'm rich, but what really matters to me is being financially free and being able to say, hey, I work a job that I love. I retired when I wanted to retire, and guess what? I can live off my dividends. Those are things that you can actually like gloat about. Those are things that you can actually like show off about. But if you're just showing off about a car, an object that you don't own whatsoever, you got all your priorities mixed up. Now, the third thing The third and final thing that I've learned, and this is a quick video like I told you guys, is very simple. Like the mechanics of how the human brain works, they're very simple, and it's usually just based on emotions. Now, the third thing that I did learn was the idea that these objects are going to change your situation. Now, give me a second and let me explain this, right? A lot of people think that if they drive a better car, they're going to feel better and they're going to be able to perform better either at their jobs, either with their people, either with their peers. And my answer to that is, if you really think that having a fancy car, having a fancy house is going to get you the friends that you deserve, guess what? You're not going to get the friends you deserve, because this is why you see so many athletes, so many people that earn millions and millions of dollars. I call these people high earners. They make a ton of money. They have a really big circle of people. And the moment everything goes kaboom, so do all the people around them. You want to build a friend base. You want to build relationships that actually matter around the things that actually matter. If you have to change yourself or have to buy things for people so they can actually accept you, you're doing something wrong, and you kind of have the priorities mixed up. Buying something, buying anything does not change your situation whatsoever. Unless, like, for example, say for example, you're buying investments, like that gives you the promise of like, hey, this is going to change my situation. Buying a Porsche does not give you the promise that you're going to feel better about everything. There's a lot of people out there that are depressed with Porsches and are having headaches about the payments on that car. Like, you don't want to put more stress in your situation. Save money, invest money, and if you don't know how to do those things, go ahead, subscribe to this channel, watch some of the videos that I have already posted, and actually learn something about it. Because, like I said before, the reason people buy things is solely based on emotion, social status, and having the idea of justifying it, of saying like, hey, if I buy this, I'm going to feel better, and if I feel better, then I'm going to be able to be happy, and you justify it this way, but it's not really true. Guys, my name is Bryson. If you don't know me, you're going to know me. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe and like, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
You've got to start at the bottom if you're ever gonna reach the top. You've gotta watch all the